You're listening to Episode 8 of the Thunderclap, the St. Luke's student-produced podcast about life on the hilltop, brought to you by Eye of the Storm. I'm Joe Derr, and today we'll be talking to Lori Canal, a beloved member of our FLIK Food Service Team. How are you today, Lori?
I am very excited to be here. I'm doing good.
All right, so since we don't want to take up too much of your time, we're just going to ask you a couple questions about what goes on in the FLIK kitchen and more about, we want to get to know you. So our first question is, where are you originally from, and how did you decide to come work for FLIK?
Okay, I'm from Greenwich, Connecticut, moved to Norwalk, Connecticut as a little girl. I have to say that FLIK came much, much later in my life. I've done a lot of other things, mainly in customer service, whether it be retail, working in hair salons, but always working with customers. And eventually got into the food service part of customer service, whether it be with conference centers, well-known companies like, can I say it, GE? And then I had an offer to come to St. Luke's, which was all new to me. And this was about 5 years ago. And of course, through FLIK, as who I'm working for now. And I'm thrilled to have gotten this job. I never really knew how exciting and rewarding it could be, meeting all the students and just the uplifting atmosphere of this school.
What is a normal day for you like here at SLS?
Okay, so it starts very early. And my main responsibility is to make sure that coffee's made for the staff and for the students that come. And so that has to get going early. It's getting all the condiments set up, the different milks, cutting up lemons, just stuff to get ready for when everyone starts to arrive. As far as the kitchen staff goes, I'm not back there a lot, but what they're doing is also the same thing. They're prepping for, of course, breakfast, which moves right into lunch. So there's a team back there, cutting up fruit, just getting all the entrees ready. It's just a continual, teamwork, and they're really good at what they do. And then just loading up everything, making sure, everything's going to be ready for breakfast and lunch. I have to be here between 6 and 6:15. Now, the food, like Dan, the executive chef, he's here about 5, I think. Yeah, he's here very early because he's got to also be here for deliveries that are, our bakery comes very early in the morning. So he's got to, check all that stuff in. And most of the other staff gets here about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Our day is usually till about 3:30. Before the pandemic, there was a lot of different activities, as you all know, so we had to prep for those activities, whether they be night or after school or weekends. So that also had to be taken in as well.
Wow, kudos to you. I can never get up that early.
Yeah, it's about a 4:30 wake up for me anyway. I just like to be ready and on top of my game.
What are meal times like both in and behind the counter of the kitchen?
When the students and staff arrive in their different designated times that they have to be, coming down for lunch, we have to have people out, to serve. We used to serve the lunch. Now it's just packing up all this food now, packaging it all up. There is still people in the back making sure that there's always things ready. We don't run out of things, or we always have to have different meals prepared for food allergy people that have food allergies or different diet situations. So we have to have all that going on. So, and then we have to know where to find this stuff too. We can't just, pull things out of the warmers. Like I said, it's pretty well orchestrated, and it's good teamwork because it gets very busy, and you know that because I'm sure you've seen it. And sometimes we do run short of food, and you got to just keep it going.
Join the Feminism Club in Miss Barini's room on Friday at 10:30 for interesting conversation, cool people, and free food.
So, all of us students here at St. Luke's know you from behind the checkout counter, but is there anything else you do for FLIK and or the kitchen?
Oh, there's inventories. There's we used to do a certain amount of decorating. I am open to learning more about food prep. You kind of just when they need help, I'm always willing to lend a hand.
So our next question is, what are the approximate number of students coming to buy food from you or get food from you during lunch per day? Because we could see those times getting very crazy with lines out the door.
Yeah, that happened a lot before the pandemic, but we still get the what I call the commotion when the first shift comes in, and we try with the social distancing, and depending on what we're serving for the day, it could get a little exciting if it's pizza or chicken tenders. Especially the younger students will get a little wild. The numbers are, about 100, 150.
So our next question, during off times when kids aren't buying food or not during meal times, what do you usually end up doing?
The equipment that I use has to be cleaned. I have to make sure my inventory's, up to par, and just making sure everything's fully stocked, that no one has to really ask me for anything. I like to just have a nice, full, clean house.
It's funny that we were just talking about this kind of off mic, but how did FLIK adjust to meet the needs of COVID-19?
Oh boy. Yeah. We're also used to people contact, and we were serving the food, and we got to speak more to the staff and the students. Maybe they didn't really like what they were seeing, or if they wanted something else, it was just a little more forgiving to communicate. Now, with the extra packaging, it is, and this is in no way complaining or whatever, but sure, it was all different. Dan had to, with all this packaging and all the extra ordering and making sure that the food was going to be presentable. And it's a lot of time. And maybe, having to change the menu, which takes a lot of planning too, on the scale of 575 students.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, and dietary situations, and then also getting the feedback, because this has not been an easy thing for anyone,
No.
And so there was big meetings in the summertime, how this was all going to come together, and not everybody liked it, but this was what we had to follow with the school and with the health department. This is what it is,
Extra, read all about it. To hear more news from the Hilltop, check out the St. Luke's student newspaper at www.digitalsentinel.org.
We also want to know, what is your personal favorite thing about working at FLIK and or St. Luke's in general?
I feel very privileged to be here. I know, not everyone has a good day and whatever, but I have to say that I'm, out of all the jobs I've ever had, and I worked many, believe me, I am very, very happy. I feel blessed to be here. I have a good day, and I'm happy to say I don't go home with any kind of, it's not like, I know some people get anxiety ridden to have to go to work on a Monday morning. I don't feel that way, and I'm so happy because I've been in that kind of job before. And I don't know, it's just a freer atmosphere. I'm learning every day, and I'm very happy here.
Well, you're not anxiety ridden on Monday mornings. You should see some of the students running around with chicken with their heads cut off, especially when we have tests like first period.
Mm-hmm.
Happened to me before. So for our last question, we want to get to know you even better than just seeing you as the face behind the counter. So what do you like to do when you're not on the Hilltop?
Oh boy. I love walking. I love nature. I love taking photographs. Before the pandemic, I have a lot of friends that are musicians, and there was a lot of enjoying a night out, seeing different bands, things like that. I love music. I love dance. I used to love to go shopping, but it seems that's kind of been cut short.
It's actually really funny that you mentioned shopping because not many people know this, but remember a couple of years ago, you went to the craft fair at the Cranberry Chapel, and I live right across the street from there.
Yes.
I was decorating for Christmas, and we saw each other from across the street.
Yeah, I ran into your yard. I met your parents. In fact, I was when I told my boyfriend that what I was doing today, I said, "You remember a student, Joe Derr? We were going to the Cranberry Chapel." He goes, "Yeah. We went over to say hello." He remembered you right away. In fact, that Cranberry Chapel, believe it or not, when I was a very little girl, was my first. That's where I started my ballet. Yeah, they used to have classes there.
Really? I started music lessons there.
Yeah, way back. But see, my mother used to, she used to do the Christmas bazaars over there. Yeah, small world.
So earlier you mentioned photography. What particularly do you like to photograph?
Oh, boy. Anything that catches my eye in nature. I love animals. If you're walking and all of a sudden a surprise bunny or a deer, or the way the trees, it depends on the light, trees, shadows. When I do post my pictures and I kind of filter with them, play around a little bit, I've been complimented, and that's been giving me a lot of confidence. So it's kind of a passion of mine now.
So you've mentioned nature a lot in a bunch of your answers.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go to enjoy nature? Are you a hiker maybe?
Not like your major hiking, like rock climbing, nothing like that. I really enjoy the beach, that kind of walking. I also, there's different spots in Wilton that I enjoy.
Is there just anything you would like the St. Luke's community to know about you or what you do?
I feel very welcomed here. I do feel the love, I have to say. Parents have been wonderful to me, the student, everybody. It's a wonderful feeling. I think my dream this year is to see the seniors graduate in St. Luke's soil.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, Lori. It was such a great pleasure to get to interview you, and it was great to get to know you. So thank you for doing this for us.
And thank you. I feel very privileged to have shared my thoughts and myself and what you guys give back to me.
Special thanks to our guest for this episode, Lori Canal, interviewed by me, Joe Derr. This episode was produced by Brian Douglas and Elise Kim, and a very special thanks to Mr. DeVissiere and Mr. Fendelman. Audio editing by Olivia Lee. And as always, thanks to our SLS debate team for giving us our name, the Thunderclap.